Inside PressBox is presented by Friedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Friedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs. And welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles. On this week's show, I'll take time in a show-ending commentary to tell you why this is the last time you'll be seeing me for a while as host. More importantly, we'll catch up with the Vice President of Communications and Brand Management for Special Olympics Maryland, Jason Schrimmel, as the athletes gear up for the Summer Olympics. We'll also visit Old Hilltop and have another segment of our Maryland Jockey Club betting tips with track handicapper Frank Carulli. This week's subject, the lucrative trifecta bets. But first, in studio with us is the director of the Maryland State Lottery, Stephen Martino. Each major sporting season brings Marylanders a chance at some great cash prizes surrounding Ravens football and Orioles baseball. This baseball season, it's hit it big with 5-card cash, and there's a second chance for owners of non-winning tickets to cash in. To talk about that and much more, Stephen Martino. Stephen, always a pleasure to see you.
Stan, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about this year's game that's attached to the Orioles. It's not a total baseball theme, but you do have a connection with the Orioles, as always.
We do. We're having a sponsorship with the Orioles, but we directed it to an existing product instead of linking it to a instant scratch ticket like we've done in the past. We have a new game that we launched in November called 5-Card Cash. It's a poker game. It's a terminal game, a draw game. So like pick 3, pick 4. It comes out of the red box at the lottery retailer, and we were looking for a way to get some interest in this game. Obviously, the Orioles had a great year last year, going to the playoffs.
We're keeping our fingers crossed for another good one.
Absolutely, and so we wanted to use this opportunity for the sponsorship to promote an existing game of ours and try to move it along. But I think many of the elements that we've used in the past with our sponsorship with the Orioles are there. We've got a player for every game. A contestant
that's watching the game at home.
Absolutely.
That enters with a non-winning ticket on the first time around, and tell us what they can win if they happen to be watching that game and hear about it, that they've won.
Yeah, so if you're the player of the game for the Maryland Lottery, you get $500 just for being selected. You get $100 for every hit the Orioles get. And then if the Orioles hit a home run in the 5th inning, 5-card cash, you win $500.
So it's a chance to strike it rich a little bit at home watching a game on Masson.
It is.
Tell us a little bit, what was it like when you're identified with a sponsorship with a big league club? Last year, you do that yearly thing with the Ravens, which I anticipate you're working on now with the folks over there, DeCass and Kevin Rocklitz. But tell us a little bit what it's like to go through that and actually have the team have the ultimate success.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we value tremendously our relationship with the Ravens and the Orioles. To have to be associated with a team that then goes all the way and wins the World Championship, it just adds tremendous value to that. We've had an excellent relationship with the Ravens over the past 4 years when we've been able to link a ticket, an instant ticket with them when the NFL lifted their restrictions on that. We are going to have a sponsorship. It's going to be a little bit different in 2013 than it's been in the past, and we're still working on that. But again, what we've really been able to do is drive these experiential prizes, lots of tickets, access to suites, having a go on an away game, fly on the team plane. These are prizes that you can't go out and purchase anywhere else, and that's what's made the relationship unique and really kind of linked Ravens fans with lottery players.
And there still will be some of those type of offers out there this coming season with whatever deal you have.
Absolutely.
All right. By the time this show airs this coming weekend, we're talking a couple days out from the Preakness. The state of racing, I know you don't have direct input in racing, but the Maryland State Lottery has a sort of fiduciary responsibility with all gaming in the state. Tell us what you think of the state of racing now and what the monies from the casinos have been able to do to better the brand of racing we're seeing.
Yeah, I'm certainly not an expert on that, and we are going to be out and have a presence. The Maryland Lottery is at the Preakness, and we've done that for the last couple of years. And again, just like the Orioles and the Ravens, I mean, the Preakness is an institution of Maryland, of Baltimore, and so we want to be associated with that. And we really, work to make sure that, we think it enhances our brand to be attached to and be represented with brands like the Ravens and the Orioles and the Preakness. Clearly, horse racing is going to benefit because of the expansion of gaming in the state. 7% of the money left in the slot machines after the winners are paid goes to supplement horse purses, for all the horses that run. And, I've read in articles that obviously they've got larger fields than they have in the past. I think people are coming back and breeding their horses in the state, which has a significant positive effect for the agroeconomy of the state of Maryland, and obviously for those who are actually running at the tracks, they're running for larger purses, and that trickles down into all areas of the economy, because from that then veterinarians are paid, and people who buy feed and groom the horses, and it does filter its way down into the economy.
Are you yourself, you lived in Kansas and you worked for the Kansas Lottery out there. Did they have racing out in Kansas? Horse racing?
A tiny bit, not anywhere like it is here in Maryland.
Have you gotten to see the beauty of it? I mean, aside from what you hear about the agro dollars, is it a beautiful sport to Stephen Martino?
It's an interesting sport. I think obviously racing on a whole is suffering. I mean, it is not an industry on the upswing. People, I think, want much faster action, and so I think racing's what racing is going to have to do is figure out a way to rebrand itself and make itself
more relevant to younger people.
Relevant to younger people, to get them to go to the track and participate in that product.
It's interesting. I know I'm throwing you a couple curveballs here, but one of the most interesting things to me is that horse racing takes place for the most part in the daytime when people are supposedly at work. To me, it's not like brain surgery to think maybe you got to change the flow of when racing is available for people to attend.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, quite frankly, though, you're going to go on Saturday or any day at the race, and there's going to be, 30, 35 minutes between races. You have this very extended period, and I just don't think that people in our society right now are conditioned to wait 30 or 35 minutes, for each play, and, it was described to me.
Keno doesn't let us wait 35 minutes.
But it's still 4 minutes, and we're having a hard time getting Keno to compete with slot machines where you can sit there and press the button, instantaneously. So it's there's challenges out there.
All right. We thank you as always for coming in. We enjoy working with you as well. Stephen Martino, Director of the Maryland State Lottery. We thank him. When we get back, we'll visit with Jason Schrimmel of Special Olympics Maryland. That's when we return. Inside PressBox is presented by Freedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Freedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs.